Determine if the lines given by the following equations are parallel or perpendicular or neither. Right, so there's a couple ways we can do this. Okay, you can try to graph these, right? But that will take a little bit of time. Okay. Main thing to remember though is how do we know if lines are parallel or perpendicular or not? Okay, so the main idea is that parallel lines have the same exact slope. So the slope should be exactly the same number. Okay, what about perpendicular lines? Well, first of all, what does it mean for lines to be perpendicular? Okay, perpendicular lines cross at a right angle. Okay, not just cross any random way, okay? They have to cross at a right angle. So it turns out that perpendicular lines have slopes that are what we say negative reciprocals. So what does that mean? Okay, it means that the numbers, right? The numbers are reciprocals of each other, but also one of them is positive and one of them is negative. Okay, so that's how we determine if lines are parallel or perpendicular. And obviously, if it's not one of these guys, then the answer is just neither, right? They're neither parallel nor perpendicular. So how can we approach the problem then? Well, we have the equation of the line, right? So actually, what we should do is get these in slope-intercept form. We should solve each of these for y, and that will tell us what the slope is. Okay? Let's take a look. 3x minus y is equal to 4. Okay? We can do this a couple ways, but I'll subtract the 3x to both sides. That'll cancel out the 3x's from the left side, so I get negative y equals negative 3x plus 4. With this negative, I can just divide each term by the negative 1. Essentially, I'm just changing the sign on all the terms here. So y equals 3x minus 4. Right, what is the slope of this line here? Right, the slope of this line here is positive 3. So now what we want to do is we want to compare that to the other line, right? So let's find the slope of the other line and then see if the slopes are the same or if the slopes are negative reciprocals of each other. Right, so let's solve for y. Let's subtract the x to both sides. That will cancel out the x's here on the left. So 3y is equal to negative x plus 9. Finally, we'll divide each term by 3. So that will cancel out the 3's here, right? 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. So we get y is equal to negative 1/3 x plus 3. All right, so what is the slope of this line then? Well, in slope-intercept form, when y is solved by itself, the slope is the coefficient of x. So here the slope is negative 1/3. And now let's compare the two. Obviously, they're not the same, right? So the lines are not parallel. But you notice that, wait a minute, one is positive and one is negative, and 1/3 is the reciprocal of 3. So these are negative reciprocals of each other. So what can we conclude then? We can conclude that these lines are going to be perpendicular. And if you did graph them, right, you would see that they cross at a right angle.